Millions of people in different parts of the world are forced to leave their countries for various reasons such as war, poverty, unemployment, political instability, and climate change. However, not everyone is able to travel with legal documents. Then, they take risky, illegal paths. The most desired destination for migrants worldwide is Europe, and the most popular way to reach Europe illegally is by crossing the Mediterranean Sea. According to the International Organization for Migration, IOM, more than 29,000 people have lost their lives in the Mediterranean Sea alone in the last decade. Yet all of them came hoping for a safe and dignified life. A recent report by the European Union's border monitoring agency, Frontex, said that Bangladeshis are at the top of the list of illegal sea crossings in Europe. This episode of Why, and How will discuss how dangerous it is to cross the Mediterranean Sea and enter Europe illegally. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and click on the bell icon. On one side of the Mediterranean Sea is the African continent, and on the other side is Europe. The African countries of Morocco, Tunisia, and Libya are located just south of Europe on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. The distance from the coasts of these countries on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea to Europe is not very long. The distance from Libya to the Italian island of Lampedusa is about 300 kilometers. Sicily in Italy is also close by from Tunisia. In addition, the coast of Morocco is separated from the coast of Spain by the Strait of Gibraltar, which is only 14 kilometers wide. Apart from these, many people also want to go to Europe through Turkey, which is located between the Asian and European continents, because many islands in Greece are quite close to Turkey. Because of this short distance, people think that it is possible to easily reach Europe by boat. They think that just crossing the sea is European soil, and this is the beginning of their big mistake. Border security is quite weak in many parts of African countries. In countries like Libya, law and order have almost collapsed due to political chaos, civil war, and occupation by various armed groups. As a result, there is almost no government control there. That is why the deserted beaches or quiet seaports of Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, and Turkey have become safe havens for smugglers. Despite crackdowns, smugglers have found new ways to enter Europe. There are three main illegal routes used to enter Europe: the Western Mediterranean route, the Central Mediterranean route, and the Eastern Mediterranean route. The Western Mediterranean route mainly goes from Morocco to Spain. Many try to enter the Spanish cities of Ceuta or Melilla using small boats. The Central Mediterranean route is the most dangerous. Those who take this route start their journey from Libya, Tunisia, and try to reach the island of Lampedusa or Sicily. This route had the highest number of deaths in 2014, and the Eastern Mediterranean route goes from Turkey to the Greek islands. This route is also not less risky. However, the distance here is somewhat shorter than the route through the middle of the Mediterranean. Not only by sea, but sometimes also by land, attempts are made to enter Europe. This illegal route to Europe by land is known as the Balkan route. Although there is endless suffering on the land route, it is much less compared to the dangers and horrors of the sea route.
International human traffickers secretly gather people from different parts of the world in Africa. Then they put them on old boats and set them adrift at sea. The smugglers, or brokers, sell false dreams to the migrants. They say that Europe is just a 2-3 hour boat ride away. They convince the migrants that the sea is very calm. There is no reason to be afraid in this sea, and that Italy or Spain are very close. Believing these things, people get into danger because their minds are absorbed in the dream of Europe. Although a boat is supposed to carry only 20-30 people, 70-80 people are crammed into it. As a result, the boat sinks or capsizes at the slightest wave. At least 3,000 people died or went missing in the Mediterranean in 2023-24. These boats do not have enough food, water, or life-saving equipment. In most cases, these boats do not even have a skilled skipper or driver. They assign someone from among the illegal immigrants to steer the boat. Even the dilapidated boats they are sent on do not have any GPS or navigation devices. So many times, the passengers lose their way and float in the middle of the ocean for days. Even though the brokers talk about a journey of only 2 to 3 hours, sometimes it can take weeks to complete the journey. it is very common for boats to break down, run out of food and water, and lose their lives in the middle of the ocean. But the brokers do not stand by them in that danger. They take money and cover themselves in advance and leave only tears and death warrants for the migrants. Not only that, many migrants are imprisoned and tortured in camps in Libya or Turkey. Then the smugglers demand huge ransoms from their families. As a result, families hoping to migrate to Europe by selling land or taking loans face even greater danger. Europe means the dream country for many. Especially people from Africa, the Middle East, or South Asia think that it will be easy to find work and get a good salary if they go to Europe. Many people think that it is very easy to make money by going to Europe after hearing stories from relatives or friends in Europe. But the reality is much more difficult. According to Eurostat, the average inflation in Europe in 2024 is about 5.5%. The prices of food, house rent, gas, electricity have increased a lot in Europe. In Germany, Italy, Spain, France, people are struggling to meet their daily needs. At the beginning of 2025, the unemployment rate among young people in the European Union was more than 14%. In countries like Spain or Greece, the unemployment rate is close to 30%. According to data from the World Bank and the European Commission, at least 90 million people in Europe are now living below the poverty line. The number of homeless people in many cities has reached record highs. Moreover, the politics of many European countries have now become much more anti-immigration. For example, strict immigration policies have been formulated in Italy, Hungary, and France. As a result, it has become much more difficult for new immigrants to find jobs and places to live than before. Not only that, but reaching the shores of Europe illegally does not fulfill dreams. In the past, once they reached a European country, they were given various benefits and gradually gained citizenship. But nowadays, these illegal immigrants are kept in detention centers where they have to suffer from paperwork problems for years. Therefore, there is no logical reason to think that life in Europe is a golden deer. While some may be destined for a new life, thousands of people are lost forever in the Mediterranean Sea, and the rest begin another miserable life. Like Europe, the most popular route for a large number of immigrants hoping to illegally go to America is the Darien Gap. The Darien Gap, a 100-kilometer-long mountainous forest located between Panama and Colombia, is one of the most dangerous and mysterious places in the world. If you want to know how dangerous the Darien Gap is and how people cross the Darien Gap to illegally enter America, tell me in the comments. I will try to make a video about this.